What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Starcraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit, spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner of Darkness Sanctuary LE, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He currently evened up the score. I'm talking about the best player on the planet. His name is Serral. And his opponent spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, playing with the red Zerg pieces. The score's evened up, and he wants to win this game and take a lead over his opponent. His name is none other than Lambo. So guys and girls, I am very excited about this game, and this series as a whole so far has been absolutely awesome to watch. Two of the best Zerg players out there in the world, just going at it, going head to head. I mean, we saw very similar build orders in game number 2 between these two players, and Serral just had a little bit of an advantage. You could just tell there was a little bit at a point where Lambo felt like he got a little bit greedy with his build, going for a Spire and then going for a 4th hatchery, and Serral took advantage of that by just going all in with roaches and Zerglings. So I guess the big question now is, okay, so Serral evened up the score. What do you do now to take advantage and go up? And by the way, if you're playing against the best player on the planet, what do you do if you're in Lambo's shoes? You want to, of course, get back, kind of get back to what worked in game number 1 and start, try to, kind of take over at one point or another, kind of throw Serral off guard, even though it is nearly impossible to throw him off guard, let alone one time. But doing it twice or even, winning a series, it's very, very complicated and difficult to do that against Serral. So what do you do if you're a Lambo? And that's why I'm very interested to see what he decides to do here in this game number 3. That said, though, we're going to see hatch gas pool openers out of both players. We're going to see the metabolic boost upgrade coming in for both players as well. Of course, the Zergling speed upgrade. Very identical production tabs, once again, at the very early stages of the game here. This is where it's going to get very interesting, though. Both players, it's like they know exactly what the other is almost doing at all times in game number 2. It just felt like Serral was able to overwhelm his opponent when there was like a greedy build there. But if Lambo doesn't make that mistake again, we could be in for a very interesting matchup. That said, though, Lambo is going for the quick 3rd hatchery, and Serral is going to go ahead and get his Baneling nest out, and then he's of course going to get his 3rd hatchery as well. So I'm assuming these players, and of course Serral, the king of scouting, finds that 3rd hatchery is gone down. Now the same can be said here by Lambo. Lambo's going to find out very quickly that this 3rd hatchery is down as well. Medic Ball Boost is going to be finishing up about the same time for both players. 16 Zerglings are on the production tab right now for Lambo. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on this, because this is going to get a little bit interesting. Baneling's coming out here for Serral. There's a lot of Zerglings moving across the map here. It does look like Serral, not that he's going to be caught off guard, but with some good Baneling hits, this could, he could do a lot of damage here. But at the same time, the question that remains is, how much of a commitment is Lambo going to take here with this Zergling push? He's going to be getting his Baneling nest up here shortly. He's also going to continue droning up. They're going to go after that 3rd hatchery of Serral. The question that I'm wondering is going to be, are you going to try to commit too much to this? Because these Banelings can do a lot of damage to those Zerglings, without a doubt. Now, there are some Banelings coming in here for Lambo, so you're going to have to kind of keep tabs on that as well. Lambo's got to be very careful. Do not want to lose these Zerglings here for practically free. But the Banelings are out, and the Baneling hits. Oh! And Lambo gets a very nice Baneling connection, but the same going to be over here for Serral. But I think that Lambo kind of took a little bit of a lead here. You got to be very careful. You do not want to allow those Banelings to get a hit. And that's exactly what just happened. Serral kind of was able to take an eye for an eye, so to speak, out of that engagement. But nonetheless, neither one of these players are out of this thing just yet, obviously. We are going to see a Roach Warren coming in as well as the Evolution Chamber for Lambo. Serral is going to go ahead and get his lair morphed in so he can get those higher tier lair-based units. Very interesting, though. I mean, this has just been a matchup that's been really fun to watch. I've said this for a while now, that with Serral, it's always felt like you really need to be the person or the player that dictates the pace of the game. If you let Serral dictate the pace of it, you can basically just GG right then and right there. That said, though, Serral seems to have trouble sometimes going up against Zerg players. And that's why I feel like a player like Lambo has, good opportunity against Serral. Even though Serral's still very good against Zerg players, don't get me wrong. Seems like it's one of maybe his weaker of the matchups. That said, we are going to see a Spire coming in for Serral. So Serral's kind of flipping the script a little bit, and just like that, Lambo's going to see exactly what is going on. So, beautiful play here by both players. As far as the scouting information is concerned, I mean, we saw, the split here of the couple of Zerglings going into the main and natural bases. For Serral, seeing the scouting information, see if there's any types of timing builds or attacks, whether it's higher tier tech-based structures or units. Very interesting. We are going to see +1 being researched for Lambo, and we are going to see +1 the same is going to be coming out of Serral, but of course out of the Spire, as we are going to see 5 Mutalisks on that production tab. That said, Serral's going to go and try to target fire down that 4th hatchery and is able to get the cancel there. Beautiful play. And this is what Serral does best. He kind of is one of his strengths for sure, is just kind of over time bleeding his opponent dry, not allowing his opponent to really expand further as games go longer and longer. And as we pass that 7-minute mark, should be very interesting to see what ends up happening. And Serral's going to start trying to chip away at some of those overlords, trying to supply block his opponent for a period of time, which is exactly what he just did. Missile attacks level 1. It's going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds for Lambo. And now these Mutalisks are going to be starting to move across the map. Now, it does look like there are going to be spore crawlers here in pretty much all these different locations, right? It looks like it for the most part. But that said, we are going to see the Mutalisks are going to start moving out, and I like what I'm seeing here. We're seeing what's probably going to be Serral hitting at a couple of angles at once. He's probably going to go after this 4th base location. And here we go. Serral going after some of those drones is exactly what you want. Got to be careful. Lots of spore crawlers over at this 4th base location. There's 3 to be exact. So Serral now is getting his 4th base. But we're seeing a lot of blue starting to move across the map. Lots of Zerglings that are on that production tab. 22 in total. And then we're going to see the Banelings are also going to be coming out. We're also going to see the roly-poly upgrade for the Banelings is going to be started as well out of the Baneling nest. We're going to see the Lurker Den started for Lambo. Centrifugal Hooks is going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds. And here we go. We have a hit that's coming in over at the 4th base location. And this is exactly what Serral was going to try to do. But beautiful transfuses, keeping at least one of those spore crawlers alive. Serral's going to have to go in from a different angle. Very interesting. Infestation Pit is going to be finishing up here, and I wonder when we're going to start seeing that Hive start to get researched. We see the Flyer attacks level 1 is going to be finishing up here for Serral, and we're starting to see a lot of these. We're starting to see, I should say, a decent amount of those upgrades coming in. Who's going to win the upgrade battle? We are seeing the Hive is being morphed in as well. But there's a lot of blue moving across the map. I think Serral wants to get a little bit aggressive, to say the least. He's starting to hit over at that 2nd base location. I'm sorry, that 3rd base location. But nonetheless, he's kind of patient. He's playing this very patiently. He knows he's kind of supply blocking his opponent slowly but surely. And it does look like these units are going to start to move in here. Those Lurkers are going to start, having a heyday. But the Banelings, oh my god, doing so much damage. And Serral is everywhere right now. He is doing a lot of damage. But at the same time, you don't want to overextend, and it looks like that's exactly what Serral is doing. So he's kind of like clawed his way back into this game. He's getting his own lair as well, getting more and more Zerglings out on that production tab as well. And these Banelings are just chilling here. They're just waiting for that opportunity to just pounce on some of these drones. And here we go. Oh, it does look like they are going to be stopped. So Lambo is on top of that one. Now here we go. There is quite a few. A nice number of these Mutalisks are just kind of floating around and flying around trying to see if they can get any types of damage dealt here. That's exactly what they're going to be able to do. And Serral, once again, the Banelings. Oh my god, the amount of damage being dealt here by Serral is incredible. And the amount of Mutalisks are on that production tab. Now, you could turn the tides of battle if you're Lambo, if you're able to just take out these Mutalisks, because they are so supply heavy. Now, that all being said, we are going to see that Lambo is ahead in the supply count. Now, he does have, his supply as far as, units are concerned. He's got a lot of roaches. He's also getting Vipers out. I like that decision a lot. But look at how Serral is containing this side of the map. Or I should say Lambo side of the map. He's containing his opponent by just kind of keeping him in his bases. Not allowing him to expand anymore. Serral's getting another base right now, which of course is his 5th base. And this is what Serral does. Serral does this best. He's also, he's of course getting more and more of these upgrades. He's also getting those Ultralisks out. So we're looking at kind of as we're moving into the late game, moving into that close to that 12-minute mark. Lambo looks like he's starting to move out. He wants to start, doing some damage, but at the same time, Serral is going right after that 3rd base location once again. Gotta be very careful though. Of course, these Vipers can do a ton of damage. And just like that, not a lot of damage being dealt as of yet. And it looks like Serral is going to be drawn back. But the Baneling run-bys are doing a lot of damage for Serral. He's really, as I said, just does such a good job. He's like containing his opponent. But at this point, it does look like Serral's going to have to be very careful with all of these Mutalisks as they're moving in. Getting a couple of those Lurkers is a great pickup. Ground Carapace level 1 is going to be finishing up in a couple of seconds for Serral. And he's hitting at multiple angles once again. Looks like these Zerglings are going to try to target fire down that 3rd base. Not successful. But here we go. It looks like Lambo possibly has had enough. He wants to start moving in. And he's exactly doing that. He is going right after what looks to be the 3rd base location. But here comes Serral. Serral's going to be hitting at all angles at once, going right after this main army of Lambo. Oh my god, the amount of damage Serral just did is absolutely astronomical. Doing so much damage, going after all these units. Serral, I really think, just took a huge lead right there over his opponent. It does look like a lot of these units are going to be cleaned up, but oh my god. Serral, with the surround on that army, doing so much damage there. Now, of course, Lambo's still not out of this thing just yet. But the longer this game goes, Serral is, of course, on 5 bases, okay, versus 4 of Lambo. Serral has contained his opponent right now to just these 5 bases. Basically, Serral said, you know what, you can have 4 bases, but you can't have any more than that. I won't allow it. And he hasn't allowed it so far. And I don't think, if he found out that there was going to be another base going down, he would not allow that to happen. That being said, here comes another Zergling run by. The Zerglings are going to go after this 4th base location, and they're going to get it and move out right from there. This is what Serral does best. Slowly but surely bleeding his opponent dry, forcing an all-in effort by Lambo right now. And that's exactly what this feels like. It feels like we are going to see an all-in assault by Lambo, because there's just not much left that he can really do at this point. I mean, he's going to go ahead. He's going to get that 4th base again, but he's going to be behind. He's going to be behind now. We've got more and more Ultralisks coming out. Vipers are coming in as well. 5 more of these Ultras are being constructed. It looks like Serral once again wants to create another surround, it looks like, on his opponent. Doesn't look like he's quite ready to take this on. But Serral once again looks like he's planning the surround, and now he's going after the unit composition once again. It looks like Serral, these Ultras are just doing so much damage to these Hydras at this point. They're doing a lot of damage, but you got to be very careful. The Ultras are being target fired down by, of course, none other than the Roaches as well as the Hydralisks. This is basically close to an all-in by Lambo, simply because he doesn't have much left. And here comes another surround once again. Oh my god, the amount of damage being dealt here by Serral. GG is called, and Serral, with numerous surrounds throughout the course of that game, ends up obtaining victory and going up in this series 2-1. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Serral and Lambo. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.